Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced national one-day mourning of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's death. As a mark of our deepest respect for former Prime Minister Abe Shinzo, a one-day national mourning shall be observed on July 9, 2022. PM Modi tweeted, Mr. Abe made an immense contribution to elevating India-Japan relations to the level of a specific strategic and global partnership. Today, whole India mourns with Japan, and we stand in solidarity with our Japanese brothers and sisters in this difficult moment, Modi tweeted. Recalling his recent visit to Japan, Modi said he got an opportunity to meet Abe again. He described Abe as a witty and insightful person. PM further conveyed his heartfelt condolences to his family and the Japanese people. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on Friday died hours after he was shot during a campaign event, public broadcaster NHK reported. Earlier in the day, the 67-year-old leader was shot during his campaign speech in Nara. He was attacked by a man from behind while he was making his speech on the street in Nara. He was in cardio and pulmonary arrest while being airlifted to the hospital, a local fire department official had said. Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Fumio increased the security cover for cabinet ministers and other politicians following the assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe during an election campaign in western Japan's Nara city. Kishida, who along with his cabinet ministers hastily returned to Tokyo from campaign events around the country after the shooting, condemned the attack as dastardly and barbaric. The Prime Minister increased the security cover for cabinet ministers and other politicians following the assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe during an election campaign in western Japan's Nara city. Fumio, who along with his cabinet ministers hastily returned to Tokyo from campaign events around the country after the shooting, condemned the attack as dastardly and barbaric. Nino Yu directed the chief of the National Police Agency, Nagamura Itaru, to provide thorough protection to cabinet ministers and other top politicians of the country. Abe, who is believed to have been killed by a self-modified gun, was however provided the highest protection according to Japan's NHK public television. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on Friday died after hours. He was shot during a campaign event. Former Prime Minister Abe died at a hospital in Gashihara City, Nara, where he was receiving medical treatment. He was 67. Abe was delivering a speech at an event ahead of Sunday's Summer House elections when gunshots were heard. Let's have a look at who is Shinzo Abe. Shinzo Abe first became Japan's Prime Minister in 2006. He served for exactly 1 year before he stepped down, citing health reasons. He returned in December 2012 and served for 8 years, becoming his country's longest-serving leader. Abe resigned for a second time in August 2020, again citing health problems. He was replaced by Yoshihide Suga, who was in power till the general election of October 2021, when Fumio Kishida became Prime Minister. Abe was the first Japanese Prime Minister to have been born after World War II. He was born September 21, 1954 in Tokyo. Abe comes from a political family. His grandfather was also PM and his father was a former foreign minister. He is married to Aike Abe. The couple have no children. In January last year, India awarded Shinzo Abe the Padma Vibhushan, the country's second highest civilian award, for exceptional and distinguished service in the field of public affairs. Importantly, in 2007, Abe also spearheaded efforts to begin the Quad, or Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, the strategic security dialogue between Japan, India, the United States, and Australia. Also, among notable moments of his prime ministership was the revision of Article 9 of the Japanese Constitution, which says Japanese people forever renounce war as a sovereign right of the nation, and was added at the direction of the United States after the country surrendered at the end of World War II. It was under Abe's stewardship that Japan sent armed forces overseas for the first time to fight, and that caused him significant support. Now let's see who the suspect of Abe's attacker is. The attacker is believed to be a former member of Japan's maritime self-defense force, Japan's equivalent of a navy. Officials have yet to comment on the suspect's motives. Here is what we know about the suspect so far. Japanese police officials have identified the man who attacked Abe as Tetsuya Yamagami. The 41-year-old is believed to be a resident of Nara and is a former military member who served in the Maritime Self-Defense Force, the country's equivalent of the Navy, for 3 years and around 2005. Yamagami has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder for shooting at Abe, according to reports in the media house NHK. He told the police that he was dissatisfied with Abe and wanted to kill him. The suspect shot 2 times, and media reports said that Abe was hit in the chest. He was standing behind the politician about 10 feet away when he fired the weapon. An eyewitness told NHK that the shooter did not attempt to flee from the scene. Instead, he put his gun on the ground and stayed put as security personnel apprehended him. Videos and photographs show the suspect wearing a grey t-shirt and brown trousers being tackled by security officials. Photographs taken as the suspect was being apprehended show what looks like an improvised homemade or double-barreled shotgun, reports BBC. Abe's shooting has raised many questions because Japan has close to zero tolerance of gun ownership and one of the lowest rates of gun violence in the world. Like any other countries, political violence does happen in Japan. However, there is extremely low gun crime rate. Let's have a look at the stringent gun laws. According to the Small Arms Survey, a global organization that keeps tabs on arms transfers, only 0.6% per 100 people owned guns in Japan, compared to 6.2 in the UK and 88.8 in the US. Therefore, police also rarely use guns and bangs upon martial arts as a means to control unruly crowds. The Sustainable Development Goals set by the UN have made it mandatory for all countries to significantly reduce all forms of violence and related death rates by 2030. But it looks like the conflicts across the world, as well as recent increases in homicides in some countries, may not allow the countries to keep the deadline. The procedure for the gun license is cumbersome, where a candidate undergoes a thorough mental health evaluation at a hospital and has to pass a written exam and complete a shooting range test with 95% accuracy. Police also undertake a comprehensive background check. Due to strict gun control procedures, the country, which boasts a population of more than 127 million people, reported just 3 deaths due to guns in 2019, making it 0.02 per 100,000 people. The manufacture of small arms, ammunition and/or their other components is permitted only if the maker holds a valid license. Also, civilians are not allowed to possess handguns, military rifles, machine guns, large caliber guns, imitation firearms, as well as hunting guns and certain air guns without specific approval. The maximum penalty for unlawful possession of a firearm is 15 years in prison. The Nagaland Olympic and Paralympic Games 2022 will be held from August 22 to 27 with Kohima as the main host city. This was declared today by the Nagaland Olympic Association during a press conference held at NOA complex in Kohima. General Secretary NOA Abu Meta said the Nagaland Olympic and Paralympic Games 2022 will witness the participation of around 4,000 athletes from 16 districts of the state and will compete in 11 disciplines. He termed the event as the state's biggest ever sporting event. He also confirmed that Nagaland will participate in the forthcoming Northeast Olympic Games in Shillong, Meghalaya.
Altogether, 14 affiliated associations participated in the AGM of today. They are archery, athletics, badminton, basketball, boxing, football, handball, kho-kho, lawn tennis, muay thai, softball, sepak takraw, shooting sports, table tennis, taekwondo, volleyball, weightlifting, wrestling, and wushu state sports associations.
If Nagaland is to change the narrative in sports, if we are to start producing champions, we must first start by streamlining the sports associations. Sports associations have to pull up their socks, have to function in an efficient and professional manner, and sports can no longer be approached as a hobby or a recreation. Today, sports has to be taken forward as a science. Sports must be developed as a science. Only then will we produce champions in future. That is why the Nagaland Olympic Association has tasked the Sports Association to streamline themselves, to use technology, to use transparency, maintain best practices, and ensure that minimum standards are observed. The Nagaland Olympic Association is taking this ideal and this spirit of the Olympic movement forward. That is why we have included Paralympic sports this time. You are aware, recently all of you have participated in a program where we also launched and instituted the Nagaland Paralympic Committee. This was carried out on the advice, consultation, and recommendation of the Office of the Disability Commissioner. So this will be the first time that it will be Nagaland Olympic and Paralympic Games.
The Nagaland Building and Other Construction Workers Welfare Board, in collaboration with the 89 BRTF Sechu Zubza today, carried out field registration for migrant workers at Sechu Zubza. It was informed that a total of 80 migrant construction workers got registered today. The NBOC WWB informed that out of 30,000 migrant workers that have been registered in the NBOC WWB, about 18,000 are active members in the state. Speaking at the program, NBOC WWB Chairman Dr. Kekre Yome said the construction workers are one of the most unprotected sections of the unorganized laborers in the country. Therefore, the government of Nagaland has constituted the NBOC WWB to provide social security to this section of workers.
योजना लगा सरकार है सब की होले भी इतो करने कोते कोते थाकिले भी नागालैंड दे थाकिले भी बिहार दे थाकिले भी महाराष्ट्र दे थाकिले भी हमारा खान लगा काम तो बिल्डिंग और कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर्स खान के सबले तो আজি अमेरिकन आहिशे रजिस्ट्रेशन करबले से इतो करने नागा मानु होले भी बाहर पर येते आइगे ने काम पूरा मानु होले भी हमारा खान निजोर एकजन के नासाइले इतो कोन आमी खान के सबो इतो कंस्ट्रक्शन और बिल्डिंग काम पूरा कोन तो সদায় কাম নাপালা কাম বি থাকে কেতিয়াবা কাম কৰি থাকিব আৰু এক্সিডেন্ট বি হ'বলৈ চান্স দছৰা পৰা বেছি আছে মানুহ আমি খান কেবি হিচাপ বি নকৰে আমি খান থাৰ্ড ক্লাছ ফৰ্থ ক্লাছ সিটিজেন নিচিনা আমি খান এনেকা বহি কেনে পেট পালিবলৈ খুজুজ কৰে এইটো কাৰণে আমাৰ লগা ৱেলফেয়াৰ বৰ্ডটো আমাৰ খান কি কাম দুখীয়া হ'লে বি কি কাম দেখতে পাই
NBOC WWB CEO T. Chuba Younger said the board, in collaboration with Department of Health and Family Welfare, provide welfare schemes under Ayushman Bharat to construction workers. He also encouraged the local people to team up so that they are marketable to establish themselves, as there are many successful workers in a district like Mon, Longleng and Shamador.
Abuni Khan laga organization PRO, PRDF pura iman mon digina Abuni Khan ki kilimani Abuni Khan ki punchule amakan naparibo. Tar Khan na thagele itu laga officers Khan na thagele do amakan naparibo. Poila bi try korise para nai. Itia do officers Khan kiman yadi ase takhan laga modot takhan pura Abuni Khan laga mon sai gina modot koribo lage kuina buji ja pura aji parise. itu karone takhan ki bi khushi pai ase apuni khan bi khushi pabo lage aji pura loigina amakhan benefit ki ase itu apuni khan ke dibuli try koribo ami aji benefit to ki ase itu to explain to bishi nokoribo de time ne phala bole na amakhan registration to important ase tadi time lage de.
Speaking to HornbillTV, Chuba Younger said to become a beneficiary, workers should be above 18 years and below 60 years and should engage in building and other construction workers. He also informed that welfare benefits are done direct transfer to beneficiary and registration is open to any person who is engaged in building and construction works for a minimum of 90 days in a year. He also informed that renewal of membership is open from 1st January to 31 March of every year, which is also available online.
Today, actually, we have come here to the PRDF to register the PRO workers. What I would like to tell you, the people of Nagaland, is that we are registering the construction workers, but here there were difficulties in the past because lots of non-construction workers also come and try to register in our office. So I just like to send a message to the people that only you encourage only the construction workers, actual construction workers, to come and register in our welfare board through our respective ALC offices in the district. Today, I would like to share a little bit about the schemes that we have. When these people get registered, they get benefit on tools. Then we cover them under health. We have a small scheme, but today we are happy to announce that we have been able to tie up with the medical department to provide them the Ayushman Bharat cards, which covers 5 lakhs per family. We are so happy to announce that. And we have children education assistance. We give 500 rupees to per child and then per month. And then we cover 2 children per beneficiary as per the national policy. That means even though they have 3-4 children, but we cover only 2. And this coverage is from nursery to class 10 as of now. We are also trying to expand to higher classes, but till now we are covering till class 10. And we also have maternity benefit. The wives of the registered members, as well as the women registered members, if per delivery we give 6,000 rupees, and this also covers 2 deliveries. So we are encouraging especially our local workers, to team up, which is partly successful now. We are very successful in districts like Mon, Longleng, So, and Shamator is also one place where we have been able to group themselves. And therefore, when they group themselves and, establish themselves, like if they start full construction, many of our workers are constructing multi-story buildings. So these people, we are trying to recognize them through, there is a process. So through this process, we would like to recognize them by providing them, even heavy machineries, so that we will push them forward and also encourage the other team also.
The first T10 running cricket tournament kick-started at DDSC Stadium in Dimapur. The tournament is being organized by the NSGB Dimapur. President of the Dimapur District Auto Drivers Union, Tito Yeptomi, who graced the opening ceremony as chief guest of honor, appealed the state government to provide better facilities to the Naga youths. He also assured his support to the youths. 14 teams from Nagaland and Assam are participating in the 3-day tournament.
I just want to encourage our Naga people to come out, our youth to come out. Why I go to chief guest for the youth and not because I like to give the opportunity to our Naga people. So Naga people can come out. They have a lot of talent, but then the main platform we are not found in it. So thank you organizer for organizing such kind of tournament. I like so much games. But then for me, no, I don't have that kind of to organize. But then I just want to say Naga people to organize, to give our Naga platform to the Naga talented guys. I would like to say moi ki parbo, moi to ange support karo, or organizer can be inga American Naga youth can karni inga organize group so that they get the platform to go outside also, and so that through the games, we Naga people can come together.
Sir, do you think that in Nagaland there's a scope in sports?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of talent people, but then I just want to give my message through Dimapur District Auto Driver Union to the government. Please give them a platform, and I like to say the government of Nagaland to organize or to help our Naga youth. Thank you.
NSGB, it's a first tournament since we're holding this year.
And this is also the running trophy which will be continuing further in the coming years?
Yes. This tournament will hold every year. It's a running tournament.
So can you please tell me more about tournament? I mean, team did you expected?
Since it's a first tournament, so we're expecting 15 to 20 teams, but unluckily we had only 14 teams in this first tournament, but hoping to see on next session that we'll have more teams. And then.
So this is organized by NSGB, and what does NSGB stand for?
Actually, NSGB is a group of friends, 4 of them, so they just pick up the first name and then they just form this group and just hold it as NSGB team, that's all.
That's all for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.